Hello everyone, I'm Movie Master 222 and I'm here to review Rogue One. In the original Star Wars trilogy, it all begins with Princess Leia desperately trying to escape with plans for the Death Star. Rogue One tells the tale of how Princess Leia came to possess the plans in the first place. From quite literally the opening moments of the movie, Rogue One presents itself as a far different animal than any Star Wars movie before it. I found the movie to be much darker than Star Wars usually is, and while I personally found it to be a stronger movie because of it, there will be those who view the darkness as a bit of a turnoff compared to what they're used to from the usual Star Wars fare. The Empire shines in this movie more so than any other movie it's been in before. For the first time, we're given a real close look at why the Empire is viewed as the antagonists of the series. Yes, we know from the original trilogy that the Empire killed Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru, and yes, they did blow up the planet Alderaan. But other than that, we really only have the protagonist's word to go on that the Empire really are bad guys that need to be crushed. Rogue One takes a lot of time and effort to set up the Empire as a truly oppressive regime that's ruthless in its pursuits and utterly merciless against its enemies. But it isn't just the Empire that's given an overhaul in terms of overall darkness and effectiveness. The Rebel Alliance themselves is portrayed as a much more sinister organization than we've been led to believe in the previous movies. The rebels we see in Rogue One are not the plucky swashbucklers we're used to, and these are a tired and battered people who've been fighting a losing war for a long time, and the signs are starting to show. There are fractures within the Rebel Alliance. Some want to surrender, some think the rebels aren't fighting nearly as hard enough as they could, and go to fanatical ends to try to fight the Empire. The main cast is made up of the combination of all these rebels. Some are hardcore veterans who know nothing but fighting a war with the Empire. Others are moderates who have been exposed to the Empire but aren't really as committed as some of their more fanatical brothers-at-arms. The movie focuses on a small group of rebels who eventually become known as Rogue One, as they try to uncover the secrets behind the mysterious Death Star and try to find a way to ultimately destroy it. These are not the protagonists we are used to in the Star Wars franchise. They are duplicitous, murderous, and very morally gray people. There's no young orphans here looking for a better life of adventure and excitement. These are people who have been exposed to the horrors of the Empire all their life and are desperately trying to fight against it with everything they have. And I want to stress the word desperation because, unlike any other film in the franchise, this one really stresses how desperate the good guys are in their fight against the Empire. They are losing this war badly, and they believe that if the Death Star comes to final completion, that the war is just about over for them. Every move the rebels make is forced, because if they don't make that move, their cause is going to be undone and the Empire is just going to utterly annihilate all of them. It is a very different Star Wars than many are going to be used to, and I can already imagine there are going to be some that are not going to like this dark and desperate turn the franchise is deciding to take. I, however, enjoy this take. I view this as a very fresh and new take and direction for the franchise to go. We really get a sense of the stakes that we've never really felt before, that the rebels need to win. Not that they're going to win, not that they win because they're the good guys, but that they need to win, because if they don't, then there's nothing left to stand in the Empire's way. It's the kind of stakes you never really feel in the old trilogy, because Luke, Han, and Leia were always there, so you always knew that as long as one of them was going to be there, everything was going to be alright in the long run. But that's not the case here. None of the familiar faces are present, so we really don't know if the rebels are ever going to succeed, beyond the fact that Leia ultimately does get the plans, but we don't know the nature of how she got that plans until the literal last moments of this movie. Rogue One is visually as impressive as any other Star Wars before it and probably any after it. A great deal of attention is given to make sure that the level of technology is very similar to what we see in the original Star Wars A New Hope. But it still maintains a freshness that makes it apparent that this is a modern-day film. The acting is about as good as any other Star Wars movie, maybe a bit more disappointing because Rogue One boasts the acting talents of Ben Mendelsohn and Felicity Jones, who are both A-list actors these days. The music is serviceable, but the absence of John Williams is felt and sorely missed. Overall, it's another serviceable and at times excellent addition to the Star Wars franchise. Fans are going to love the movie as they always do, and those who have always been a bit hesitant to dip their toes into the franchise might find Rogue One a bit more welcoming than the trilogies of the past. Because of the strength of the visuals alone, I highly recommend you go see this movie in theaters. 3D is not a waste of money for this movie. If Rogue One is a sign of the strength of the spin-off movies we're going to be receiving alongside the main story, then I look forward to seeing the Han Solo and other spin-off movies Disney's cooking up in the future. That's all for now. I'm Movie Master 222, and I'll see you all next time.